Welcome back to JD's Rips, Bricks, and Collectibles, and today we have the pre-release for none other than Spider-Man and MTG. And a pre-release is going to act a little bit differently. You're going to end up getting the pre-release box that comes with its own little casing that just makes it look more Spider-Man authentic. And you're going to get 6 packs, which these 6 packs you're going to make your own 40 card deck. This will be what you play against other people with, and it's normally going to be 40 cards. Traditionally in Magic, you play 60 card, or if you play Commander, you're going to be playing 100 card. Pre-release is the only time you really do 40. So it's really its own special thing. You open those 6 packs, and you play with what's in those 6 packs. Granted, with 6 packs of cards, you're going to make more than 40, with 17 of those cards being land that usually the card shop does provide for you. I do recommend bringing your own land, that way you're just not fighting over who gets whatever or who can actually make their deck first, because that's going to give you some precious time to actually test your deck. Now, this is the deck I was able to make. Yes, I did buy sleeves for them because there is a card in here that is double-sided, and once I make it to them, I will let you know. But it was a traditional mill deck, and instead of milling your opponent, I decided to mill myself so I can run through the deck just a little bit faster, using cards like Mysterio's Phantasm and Spider-Gwen Free Spirit, just to thin out my deck to get to some of the boss cards a little bit faster. And using things like Shock to do extra damage, and the Spider Twins, as I like to call them, just to get a little bit more damage on the board quick. Now, with doing this type of format, you do play in a Red Robin style game, which means if you lose, you do not get immediately disqualified. And in doing this means that every win, this is the big boss for the deck, with every win you do get an additional pack. You do have to win best 2 out of 3s, and then once you do, you can get that additional pack. This is the flip, so I'm going to move it to the side. Now, with that said, I went 3-0. I did have a whole lot of fun playing, and I did not immediately get shut out. I believe that there was a little bit of unfair play in my first round, and that kind of just bummed me out for the rest of the night. So I really wasn't up to my best. Now, in a format like this, you do get to sideboard pretty frequently, and I'm going to bring that up because one of the cards that I was able to pull absolutely should have gone into this deck, and I just blanked on it. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I was just so frustrated that I did not bring it up, but these are the cards that I pulled beforehand. I'm not going to go through all of them just because there's not too much crazy going on. Yeah, there's Venom, but believe it or not, like you saw with Spider-Gwen, there was multiple Venoms, those multiple Spider-Gwens, those multiple Miles Moraleses, so there's not a whole lot of craziness going on throughout here. And yes, that is a dinosaur. Spider-Man was a dinosaur in a different universe. But what this does have, oh hey, this was supposed to be in the other area, right? This set is very heavy with legendary creatures, which means that if you're playing Commander, this is going to be a really good place to pick up a Commander. This is something that you get with every box of the pre-release. And I'm going to say this, and everyone's going to be in the comments going, that's not it. This was my promotional card, my promo. Normally a promo is going to have the date of the pre-release etched in on the bottom here. I traded mines to a friend because I actually pulled this one. It's the same exact art. I'm going to actually use it, so keeping one sealed doesn't do anything for me, but it does do something for him. And with that being said, I pulled one that's glossy, that's holographic, and I pulled one that's normal. So I should have added these to the deck. I didn't. And then you do get alternate art cards, which it's a chance of getting them, but you have a higher chance of getting it in a collector booster. Now, with that said, a collector booster, at the time of this recording, is going for $50. Where I was able to buy the box of Venom that you saw behind here for $60. So 1 pack compared to 9. I will go for the 9 each and every time. But this was the main hit for the pre-release. And then, pulling up the side, I did have one mythic, a Web of Life and Destiny, and I will figure out how much that is worth, putting it right onto the corner, boom, right there. And then coming up the rear, we have Spider-Gwen. The reason I had to buy sleeves is because Spider-Gwen is a flip card, and it looks like each of the Spider main characters, so Peter Parker, Miles Morales, Ghost Spider, is going to have a flipped variant where you play them, and then there's going to be a cost associated at the bottom that would allow you to flip and use their abilities. Now, with that said, I did end up buying this pack right here. And it's not normal for this channel for us to have it pre-opened, but due to a pre-release being a special occasion, I was not allowed to record while inside the pre-release because, people don't want their information out like that. But I also couldn't take the cards home without opening because they were worried about scalpers. So, just to run through, these are the hits for the box. And I'm going to start with just the holographics. And that's because even this looks like it would be a really good card. It's okay in practice, but in terms of rarity, everyone should have that. Hydra Man, Sandman, Lady Octopus. See, that's the second one I pulled. And then, once I make it through all of these, I was actually able to pull pretty well for my last couple of bits. And those cards is going to really showcase the difference between getting a collector's booster or getting a ordinary pack, because these are cards that are very easily attainable in the collector boosters. And those are full art, alternative art cards. And even if you get the collector's boosters, these are going to look really cool. There is a section of them where they take the panels right out of the comic book, and you do have a chance of getting them in the normal set. But in this, you have a higher chance of getting it if you had a collector's booster. I did not, so I got lucky enough to get 4 cards that are kind of collector-ish. So we got Spider-Man Noir as a full art. Love it. We got this spectacular Spider-Man. I do know this is the one that's not quite as valuable. This Spider-Man actually has 9 variants, if I'm not mistaken, all with different suits that Spider-Man Peter Parker has worn in the past. And speaking of Peter Parker, we have the Flip Peter Parker card as a holographic. And let me just show you what the back side of that bad boy looks like. Bam, double holographic. Gotta love it. I'm not a huge fan of the art of this card, which is why I'm so happy I got the same card, but the full art, alternate art. And yes, there is a third version where he's more of a comic book style, but this, in my opinion, is also just really cool. And as a Spider-Man fan, I'm super happy with this set, so definitely expect us to open an actual set in front of you guys. And if there is anything that you guys saw within this set that you are interested in, feel free to put it in the comments below. Check our eBay listing because a few of these might be popping up there in the near future. And remember, if you have any questions, you want to see us open anything, please put it in the comments below and we will do our best to oblige. So thank you, and see you in the next one.